Two things are certain in lives of most people: death and taxes. But in lives of Russians, it's three things, not two: death, taxes, and Vladimir Putin as their eternal president. On February 29th, the eternal president addressed the Federal Assembly. It was an important event to be watched closely, as usually Putin outlines direction of where Russia would be going for years to come in his addresses like that. His speech was one of the longest on my memory, close to 2 hours, tedious and boring. But when I heard this, my jaw nearly dropped.
Продумать подходы к модернизации нашей фискальной системы, к более справедливому распределению налогового бремени в сторону тех, у кого более высокие личные и корпоративные доходы. И напротив, нужно снизить налоговую нагрузку на семьи, в том числе за счет вычетов, о которых сегодня уже сказал. Стимулировать бизнес, который вкладывает средства в развитие, в реализацию инфраструктурных, социальных проектов. При этом нужно, безусловно, закрыть всяческие лазейки, которые используются некоторыми компаниями для ухода от налогов или занижения своих налоговых платежей.
Putin froze for the first time on my memory. Interesting. Well, when I saw that part of his speech, when I heard him saying that, I instantly knew that something big was coming. And it's not going to be good for the Russians. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. No propaganda, BS, or lies on this channel. Only truth, common sense, and logic. And some emotions, too, because I am a human being, after all. And no, we will not speak of death today, but we will speak of Putin and taxes. Oh, plenty of that. Taxes. Whoa, it's one of those things that we don't like to talk about. What are taxes anyway? And why do we have to pay them? A tax is a mandatory payment or charge collected by local, state, or national and national government from individuals or businesses to cover the costs of general government services, goods, and activities. Now, let me ask you a question. Suppose you are a normal person, like most of us here, like most of you are there, and you don't like to pay taxes. What do you think would change your mind so you'd start liking to pay taxes? Any ideas? No, this is the answer. Living in the early 90s in Russia would change your mind about paying taxes. And this is how. Let me tell you two personal stories, I'll try to make them short, about paying taxes and how my attitude towards taxes changed. Let me take a sip of this wonderful English breakfast tea first. English breakfast at Uzbekistan midnight. That's the way we do it. So, the first story, Russia. And it is the year of 1993. Rostov-on-Don, a city where 1 million people lived. A very densely populated residential area. Bunch of tenement blocks. Just like this one. This reminds of the one, perhaps it's the one that I lived in. I grew up and I was raised right in this exact same building. There were all over the USSR. So, right here, a place of a few hundred apartments. Anyway, There was a fire in a basement in our tenement block. Not a huge fire, nothing threatening, life-threatening, but plenty of black smoke and not pleasant overall. There were 144 apartments there, and approximately 700 people lived in our tenement block, just like this one, even the same color. And it could be mine, I just don't remember. So 700 people or so. Most who were at home at the time of fire ran outside to find out that, what was going on. And I was there also when I ran outside. We called 02, and it was our local number for the fire department. We called immediately and started waiting. We waited and waited and waited some more. And the fire was still going on. Then we called again, and we were assured that an engine with a team of firemen was on the way. All calm, we started waiting again, and we waited and waited more, and some more and more on top of that. And we called 02 again to check on things. The operator started yelling at us for calling so often. But our home is on fire, and that's kind of unsettling, emergency. The lady told us that there were other fires for firefighters to attend to. Well, makes sense. There's plenty of tenement blocks, right? So we ended up calling 4 times. 4 times. And the firefighters finally came. And an old Soviet truck with a large tank of water, just like this one. This one particular in this picture is brand new, but it's still the old Soviet model, and that's how ours looked like. The one that came, only it was not so shiny and painted and everything. It was pretty old, beat-up truck. So in the USSR, 1 hour wait was nothing unusual. Most of us weren't even surprised, let alone upset. Hey, we were hardened by the USSR, and waiting was simply in our blood, so waiting was okay. Well, fire thought otherwise, but hey, it doesn't happen often. But what happened next really upset many and got me, a 17-year-old kid, start thinking of paying taxes in general. The firefighters arrived and just stood there and watched along with us. And people started asking what the hell they were doing. They answered, "We're watching." That's the captain said. "Why aren't you extinguishing the fire?" we were asking. And the answer was very brief and down to the point and brilliant. "We have nothing to extinguish your fire with. We have no water. The water tank is empty." "Why did you come then?" People started yelling at them. "Well, you called the station 4 times. You were persistent, and the operator asked us to come to you because you asked us. Otherwise, if you weren't that persistent, we wouldn't come." "But why there's no water in your tank?" That was another question. "Look, we don't even have enough money to pay to fix the truck. We do it ourselves, and, they're late on our payments by months. We have daily quota on water because water costs much, so we only extinguish fires in the mornings while water supply is less." And then there was silence. And one person loudly asked, he was kind of wondering himself, speaking out loud, "Why the hell are we paying taxes then?" Well, he said something a little different, not what the hell. I'm putting it mildly. He said, a different word. He said a different word. And that made me think, why really we paid our taxes for? What were we getting back in return for our taxes? My parents were very upset too. The fire, we ended up extinguishing it ourselves. We started getting water from our apartments with buckets, running, I remember, and the firefighters were even helping us. And it was not just firefighters in the early 90s. I remember I broke right foot once. Ambulance didn't come, and my dad drove me to a local hospital. And then doctors there didn't want to even look at my foot until we paid them cash right on the spot. And then they treated me. They put cast on and they did an x-ray. And then there were many other situations too. And every time I asked myself, why in the world we are paying our taxes? And why would I pay my taxes in the future when I grow up and become adult and start earning money? Not paying taxes back then was like Russian national sport, okay? That's the first story. Story number 2. Well, let's fast forward a little bit. The year is 1998. 5 years after the fire in Rostov happened. Spring in the U.S., Northeast, a town called Old Orchard Beach, Maine. I'm at work at a small hotel, 55 rooms. On that day, I'm at work, and it's a slow off-season day, spring. Just me and a chambermaid at the property. A chambermaid is out there in one of the rooms, and all is quiet. And all of a sudden, a fella comes in from the street and yells at me, "There's a black smoke coming out of your roof." So I run to where the smoke is. I unlock and open the door. And all of a sudden, I see a room full of fire. Fire raging. I freeze and time freezes. Right in front of me, in front of my eyes, the roof caves in and falls down. And all that happens in slow motion. Boy, I got scared. It was like a scene from a movie. That fire literally was 3 feet from my face. And it was intense. It was raging. I ran downstairs and I dialed 911 immediately. I had cordless phone in my hands. I screamed, "Fire, fire! The hotel is on fire." The operator calmly asked me if I was injured, if there were any injuries in any people, and asked me to confirm the address. As soon as I said that, some like 3 seconds, I heard all of a sudden a few sirens appeared somewhere far, and they started approaching. Firefighters were the first ones on the spot, and it took them 2 minutes sharp. A truck like this is from Raleigh, not from Old Orchard Beach, but this was the same truck. I remember it was the same, their own standard, The truck arrived, it stopped, firefighters, a crew jumped out, and they didn't ask me anything. They were so professional. They knew exactly what to do and how to do it. I jumped in and I started telling them, so that they just pushed me aside. They said, "Look, kid, we're going to take care of it." They put down the fire in a few minutes. The police cars and one ambulance came a couple minutes after the firefighters. Now, this is important. Listen to this. This is basically why I'm telling you these 2 stories. Once they all came, I felt a very special feeling. I felt like I was not alone. Like there were many people out there with one goal: to help me, to keep me safe. At that moment, I remember another fire back in 1993 in Rostov, and the feeling of complete helplessness and the feeling that no one gives a crap about you. You're on your own, and they could care less what you had fire, you were being robbed or whatever. I was comparing those 2 fires, and it made me so emotional, too emotional. Heck, it's still making me emotional right now as I'm telling you these 2 stories. 31 years later. Gosh. That evening in Old Orchard Beach in Maine, I understood why I was paying taxes in America. And ever since, I had not never had one slightest single problem paying taxes in the USA. I was actually glad to pay them because I was running a fairly large hospitality organization, 500 plus rooms, and we constantly had situations where help was required. And help always came, and it came fast. Every time I or my employees called 911, we instantly knew that there were some people whose purpose was to come and help me. If our guests called 911, our employees called 911, whoever needed help, we knew the help was on the way. As soon as we hang up, we heard the sirens. Old Orchard Beach is not such a big city, big town, it's just a rather small. So we could hear it, and they were coming our way. And this is such a great feeling. So if you want to change your attitude about paying taxes, go live in a place where firefighters don't come when you need them, or police is nowhere to be found when someone is robbing you or breaking into your apartment openly. I think you get the idea. That can actually make you change your thinking about paying taxes. Paying taxes is actually a privilege, but with one condition. Taxes that you pay must be used right, must be used on purpose, which is still not the case in Russia. Taxes in Russia are still fairly low. Personal income tax is 13% flat of whatever amount you earn, and, you pay 13%, and business taxes aren't that high, 20%. That is for one simple reason. In Russia, the taxes have historically not been the primary source of filling federal budget. Personal taxes considered peanuts compared to what the state earns by exporting country's natural resources, and the king among them being oil and natural gas. So personal and business income taxes have always been considered, something like, who cares, some more, some less, as long as people just keep 13% and keep quiet, pay 13% and keep quiet, that type of thing. But that was until now.
Предлагаю продумать подходы к модернизации нашей фискальной системы.
Modernizing our fiscal system,
Разделению налогового бремени в сторону тех, у кого более высокие
making it more fair,
личные доходы. И напротив, нужно снизить
to reduce the tax burden of families. Remember that, to reduce tax burden for families who make less.
Который вкладывает средства в развитие, в реализацию инфраструктурных, социальных проектов. При этом нужно, безусловно, закрыть всяческие лазейки, которые используются некоторыми компаниями для ухода от налогов или занижения своих налоговых платежей.
That is until now. Russian oil cannot be sold to the best customer, Europe. Banned. Russian oil is under ban. And the only customer now that buys Russian oil, literally China, because India last week, that's it. It's not buying Russian oil anymore. China, the only country, and it does so with huge discounts. Russian oil has ceased to be the primary source that, you sell it and it's enough for everything, for all your expenses. Natural gas, even worse situation. Russia has increasingly declining revenues and increasingly growing expenses. The war with Ukraine is costing Russia plenty. What we're looking right now is economic disaster. And I feel like I keep on repeating myself here as I explain this economic perfect storm about Russia at least a dozen times now. I keep on doing streams about Russian economy, and I will keep on doing them in the future. I don't want to talk about that. I think we will understand that Russia is making so much less because of the sanctions and spending so much more now because of, it's waging a war, and it's very costly. And the situation is not getting any better. Moreover, the time as time goes by, the situation is getting worse. So I did a few in detail reviews of what to expect in 2024. I'm gonna put a link right here. Check it out. Basically, it all comes down to these three things. Number one, they'll have to devaluate Russian rubles, so they will be receiving more rubles for the same or even less amounts of fewer amounts of American dollars they still receive from exporting fossil fuels. Hello, inflation. Number two, they'll have to raise taxes, fees, penalties, and licenses. Hello, more inflation. And number three, that the most dangerous thing for the economy, and they'll do it for sure, they will turn on the printing press. They will start printing more money. Hello, galloping inflation. So, the death and taxes. Like I said, current personal income in Russia is quite low, 13% flat. Regardless of how much you make, you pay 13%. Poor or rich, doesn't matter. In many countries, a different system is called, exists. It's called progressive taxation system. The more you make, the more you pay. I think that's very discouraging for people, but hey, later on that. Business income in Russia, business income tax in Russia is also fairly low. It's currently 20%. Well, it varies from business and from what the company does and many things, many circumstances, but it's around 20%. And value-added tax is 20%. In other words, it's federal sales tax. Like in the USA, you have sales income tax, sales, whatever. In Maine, it was 7%. In Russia, it's 20%, but it's universal to the entire country. So 20% is added to most goods and services sold in Russia, like 90%. Some goods and services are exempt, baby food, stuff like that, but like most goods and services, 20% added as sales tax, federal sales tax. So when I was analyzing the situation that was going to happen in Russia, I was expecting taxes to go up. And I've said many times that I was, I actually made you mark down my words. But what made me surprised this time is how Putin presented it. I quote, "I propose to think over approaches to modernize our fiscal system to a more equitable distribution of the tax burden towards those with higher personal and corporate incomes." Unquote. In other words, he proposed to make the tax system more fair. More fair. It's how it's called these days. When you raise taxes, you start calling it making the tax system, the fiscal system, a more fair system. It is genius. Raise taxes, and that's more fair to everyone. So I immediately started asking Russians the next day, literally, March 1st, what they thought about it. Most Russians heard Putin. Most Russians, had some kind of opinion of what he said. And most folks, and I talked to, fairly educated, fairly smart people, most have told me that they found it fair. Rich folks must pay more. The taxation in Russia must be progressive. The poor, they're paying 13%. That's a lot. They need to pay less. But those who are rich, they need to pay more. I actually couldn't believe what I was hearing. I personally love flat tax system. I think that a progressive system demotivates people to earn more. And the Russians, they think otherwise. Why? Plain and simple. Most answered this, that the rich folks must suffer because they've been having it too easy all these years. They don't take into consideration that rich folks actually earn their living, they earn money, they take actions, they bear higher risks, they have more responsibilities and so forth. So they're rewarded. That's how Russians' brains work. They think that the rich Russians having it easy. As it turns out, most Russians are envious to rich people. They don't want to work and they like to drink, but they envy those who earn a lot. But that's a different topic. Anyway, I started thinking, and I don't remember one single case when something good was done to Russian people by their government. Not perhaps something. If you know, please let me know in the comments, but not on my memory. Short memory, I don't know. Anyway, let me know if you know something. And this time, listening to Putin saying that the fiscal system needs to be more fair, I felt like something was stinking. I felt it immediately. No way! They will make a more fair taxation system in Russia. No friggin' way! And I turned out to be right. I started looking into this, and now, listen to this. 13% flat tax will turn to 15% for those who earn less than approximately 70,000 Russian rubles. Or that's an equivalent for, 800, 750 American dollars per month. And those filthy rich fat cats in Russia who earn more than $750 per month, let's say $900 per month, or $1,000 per month, the filthy rich, they eat black caviar and they drive in Bentleys and $900 per month. It's incredible riches, They will be paying 20% income tax. They aren't making it any more fair. They're just raising personal income tax for everyone, including the poor, the very same people who wished to pay less and who wished for the rich to pay more. Yes, the rich will pay more, but it turns out that the Russian government considers rich those who earn more than $750 per month. Yes, they will be, paying more. Those engineers and I think doctors make less, but those who work for the government, yes, they probably make that much. The cops, something like that, professions like that, they will be paying 20% now. And the not so fortunate, the poor, they still will be paying more, but by just 2%. I think that serves them right. It's almost like the government, this taxation system will still stay flat, only everyone will pay higher taxes. Oh my God. And Putin is calling this system a more fair one. I'm telling you, it's genius. And it gets better. The Russians are still clueless. They seem to be not simply interested in what's going on. This new taxation system is being cooked right now. I'm pretty sure it's already 100% finished. It's ready to be implemented. And the only milestone they're waiting is inauguration of Vladimir Putin in early May. Most people I asked about this new taxation system answered that they heard about Putin saying about this taxation system, but they heard Putin meant only the rich people, like oligarchs, will be paying more. Oligarchs. Well, you know what? There's a little secret for you. Most Russian oligarchs do not pay taxes. Yes, there's a federal law, and it's quite old. It was created, I believe, in 2015, when the first personal sanctions started getting implemented against certain people in Russia. So basically, this law says if you're under personal foreign sanctions, like most oligarchs are, you pay no taxes in Russia. That's how Russian government, well, basically that's how Putin so oligarchs will not pay more. And on top of that, usually the rich people don't ever pay personal income tax. They earn money through their businesses. And it's a completely different story. And business taxes, by the way, will increase too by 5% to 25%. At least that's what the rumors have it. I am absolutely certain that's what they're going to do with the personal income tax by 2% and by 7%. This one, I'm not so sure, but I think that 5% is spot on. So there will be increased by 5%. And added value tax might also increase. Some rumors have it by as much as 5%. That I'm not sure. But this is just so easy for the Russian government to start taking more money from its citizens, And I'm pretty sure that if that happens, Russians will not say anything. They'll just swallow it again. The taxes will be increased right after Vladimir Putin inauguration in early May. Inauguration is the next milestone, like I said, when everything will become legal. His fifth reign will become legal. He was, the day will come and Russian people will ask him, Vladimir, we voted for you, you are a ruler for 6 more years. And what exactly Russians pay higher taxes to, will be paying higher taxes to get better education for their children, to get better health care, to be safer, to feel safer on the streets, for any good things like that? Of course not. They will be financing the killing of the people in Ukraine. They will be financing more the war in Ukraine. They will be financing more spendings of Russian military-industrial complex. The moral of the story is this. The effects of these grand changes that Russia is going through right now, or I should say the grand transformation, or perhaps the grand mutation. Let me know in the comments what do you think the most appropriate for Russia. Is it changes, transformation, or mutation? I personally think it's closer to mutation, okay? So the effects will start being felt by Russians even sooner than I had thought. The bubbles that most Russians have built for themselves, the informational bubbles that people sit inside and they don't even peek outside, kind of see nothing, hear nothing type of thing. Most of Russians are living in bubbles like that. They will start bursting in early May, right after the inauguration of Vladimir Putin. No, they have started already, but just in a small way. The big time, coming in May. Right now, they have started devaluing ruble. It's trading at around 92.60, almost 3 ruble increase since the presidential election. And we'll be seeing more of that. And of course, I will let you know what will be happening with that. This phantasmagoric picture called The Grand Demise of Russia is well underway. We are seeing Act 1, but boy, it's a powerful one. And this has been my message for today. Thank you very much for coming. Before I turn the live stream chat on, I'd like to ask you a couple favors. First one is please like this message. Second is please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. The third is please help me spread this message by making reposts on social media accounts. And the most important, please let me know what you think. Give me feedback. Feedback is everything to me. I want to know if you found it interesting, educational, perhaps not. Perhaps you liked something more than other things. Let me know. If you have nothing to say, please drop me a couple lines of encouragement. I love reading that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm turning the live stream chat on. While I'm doing it, I will remind you that I do carefully select 9 news per day of crazy things happening in Russia. And I make them available to patrons and sponsors of Inside Russia. So if you want to stay on top of things, please become a patron or a sponsor of Inside Russia. Feedback so far that I received is very positive. People like my news. Well, it's Russian news, but with my commentaries and something is going on with my internet. And buffering. I'm sorry about that. I don't really know what's up. I hope it will not stop soon. So anyway, this channel has the best moderation team, and Lorna, Mami K, Bob S, Harry Potter, Amir Fazat, and Dirk. Thank you for coming, friends, and thank you for helping me watching my back. If there's too much buffering, I will have to end the stream. It's been acting up. I was late today starting this stream. Please forgive me for that, but technical difficulties. In Uzbekistan, there are many of them. So anyway, the usual suspects, fantastic to see you. I just remind you before I jump into the questions and comments, remind you if you want to attract my attention easier, please put your comment or question in all caps and put Inside Russia after @ just like Harry Potter did, so it appears highlighted in large orange box. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Al Valley, howdy. Welcome to the community, everyone. Thank you, Yuri Chen. Ferrari guy, long time no see. Maria, Alex from Denmark, Pamela J. Koshkindom, howdy. Master QR Born Snail, Kevin Baker, Terry, of course, MK, Live, Paula. Friends, fantastic to see you. Mac, Faith Russer, Jimmy, Kaltenberg, Wayne Guin, Scott Nesbitt, Pamtree Kate, Leitmotif. You know what? I know you by name now. I don't have to read your names. I just couple letters and boom, comes into my mind, you know. You become, I think, even more than usual suspects. I don't know how to call you. You suggest. But anyway, I'll jump into Terry. I loved how you presented today's stream. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. I tried. Joseph Johnson, Russia is flooding. Ural River. Yes, it is flooding. And if you have not heard, there's an accident in Russia. A bridge collapsed. Yeah, a big bridge just collapsed. I will make a video about that. If I'm on time, I'll do it, not a stream, but a video. Remember, the utilities were in trouble last winter. No heat, no water, sewage, stuff like that, and all started happening at the same time. Well, now it's happening with floodings and bridges. Spring has come. It's been buffering on and on for a while. I don't know what to tell you. I apologize. My Wi-Fi is on and internet's acting up. If it's too much buffering, then just, we'll continue tomorrow. Florian, howdy from Europe. Thank you for sharing your stories. Fits very well with the stories from old Eastern Germany. May be common for socialist countries, even worse than many are not aware. We should never allow to have that back. Florian, let me tell you something. My wife, Natasha, most of you have seen her, have spoken to her. we do live streams, and she joins me once in a while every Saturday for sponsors and patrons. I do live streams, my way of thanking for supporting me. And it's like personal, friendly conversations, like Saturday night at a pub with friends, so to speak. And she is German. Her parents, her mom is German, and part of her family lives all over Germany. And when Natasha was 10, she traveled to DDR, East Germany. And she said she was absolutely amazed how different GDR was from Russia, from Soviet Union. She said she traveled to another world. What you, people who live in the West, you think that old Eastern Germany was underdeveloped and socialist. To us in the USSR, Eastern Germany was paradise. She said she could not believe. She came back depressed because, it was so great in Eastern Germany, okay? And I'm pretty sure that the services were like 100%, 1,000% better than what we had in the USSR. So, but generally, you're right. It's just we had it so much worse than they had it in Eastern Germany. Sam K, the legend, the king of English breakfast tea. Thank you. I do like it very much. It's my most favorite tea. I don't drink soda. I don't drink alcohol, beer, nothing like that. But I drink plenty of water and iced tea. Not iced tea. English tea. I rarely, never drink iced tea because iced tea is it's full of chemicals. It's like soda, basically, the iced tea that you buy. I make my own tea sometimes. I do mixes of different teas, and I buy some. There's a big industry here in Uzbekistan. People pick different grasses and they mix them and make herbal teas. Oh, it's fantastic stuff. And I buy those and I drink herbal teas from time to time. So thank you so much, Sam. Life is here. Howdy, friend. The living expenses, wages, expenses seemed already bad. Marrowcat, well, I can't really disagree with you. Remy, Kerchbridge, no, not Kerchbridge. If Kerchbridge collapsed, I would be doing, it's big deal, I'd be doing like live stream right there. Karano, howdy. So mods, if it's buffering too bad, please let me know. So I'm prepared to. Blackad, howdy friend. Blackad was a moderator for a long time here at the channel. Did a good job. Good to see you. Thank you so much for checking in. Thank you so much for supporting. Mama is fine. Mommy K's mama. Well, I think that Mommy K will answer that question herself. My mom is fine, and Lorna is here too. So how's mama? My mama is fine, thank you. Talk to her every single day, sometimes twice a day. Show her how Michael practices hockey, swimming, all that good stuff. And Lorna and Mama K, please answer for yourself. I don't want to jump in front of you, so to speak. Don't want to be rude. Martin, howdy, good to see you. Put your tea bags in a jar and put the jar in sun for good tea. AL, look, if I ever get to Arizona, I'll do that. How about that? I heard people do that. Life, Thank you so much, new subscriber. Thank you for the streams. Thank you so much for subscribing, supporting. I am very glad that you have joined our community. It's a fantastic place. And thanks to the mods, Lorna, Mami K, Bob S, Harry, Amir, and Dirk. These people, they're just pure gold. Ron, super chat test. Well, it's passed with flying colors here. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much. EW, good to see you. Have you ever had hidden tree tea? Linden tree. Never even heard of linden tree. No. I have hibiscus tea right now. I have herbal tea from Samarkand region, and I have English tea. Darjeeling, English breakfast, and I primarily drink Taylor's at Harrogate tea and the Twinings. EW, you nailed it. Back into the USSR. You don't know how unlucky you are. Tammy Stovall. My dad was a fireman. He died when I was 3, and when I went to college later, I received scholarship for firefighters' children. It was if my dad was still looking out for me. You know, Tammy, you can be very proud that your dad was a firefighter, because firefighters, they really save lives. They help people. I was absolutely amazed when Russian firefighters came. You know, it's tragic, but it's also funny. We were waiting for them for entire hour. Okay, they finally show up. They get out, and they're not in a hurry, and they stand there and they watch. And we were like, not me, but the adults, you know, our neighbors were like, "What the hell are you doing?" Said, "We're watching." Why don't you do something? We have nothing to do it with. We have no water. So that's just no good bums, you know. Basically, they pretended that they were working, and the government pretended it was paying them. That's how it went. But when I came to the USA, firefighters, they really saved lives. They were the guys you could... They came and they took responsibility off your shoulders. You felt... We had 3 or 4 fires in the hotels in 9 years. I went through tons of stuff, you know. Heart attacks, injuries, flooding, fires, fist fights, you know, knifing, stuff like that. So every time firefighters came, I mean, you can be proud of your dad. In America, firefighters just great people. Black Cat, thank you for gifting sponsorship to 5 people. From me and from 5 people. Thank you so much. It means that 5 people have access to daily news updates. Mike D has also gifted sponsorship to 5 people. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, I feel so much better now since me and Ola will do this news, because I feel like I'm giving you so much more now. And that's a good feeling. I like to give people. Before, both sponsorship and Patreon was more like people just give me, support me, you know, send me money, and I do posts and stuff like that. But now I give back, okay? And I'm proud of what I do. I think it's very valuable. And if you watch the news that we do with Ola, then you definitely keep up with what's going on in Russia, okay? I can't say you become an expert, but you definitely keep up. You definitely know what's happening. So, again, thank you so very much. And Kevin Baker has just gifted 5 people sponsorship. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sam K, you are more English breakfast tea than Russian. So funny. For more tea. Thank you. Cheers to you, Sam. Thank you. King of the legends. Why? I highly doubt it. Perhaps Amazon for different types of tea from the UK. Well, I wish I could have access to Amazon here in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. If you think that Amazon delivers to Uzbekistan, then no, it doesn't. If I could buy things from Amazon, I'd be happy, man. Well, I am much happier, man. Now they just launched a real IMAX, large screen, real IMAX movie theater here in Tashkent. I watched Dune 2 in IMAX, and that was absolutely fantastic. So it's good. The Underdog, thank you so much. Remember traveling through East Germany in 1968 on our way to visit my brother who was at a summer camp for kids in Czechoslovakia. It was insanely poor and 3-hour queue at the gas station. Russia visited Czechia too. Well, I understand what you're saying. I understand your experience, but trust me, people in East Germany was so much better off than in Soviet Union. To us, East Germany seemed almost like as it had capitalism. That's what Natasha was telling me. She came back home to Rostov in 1985 or 1986, absolutely depressed. She said, I couldn't stand the grayness of our life after what I had seen in the East Germany. Chodes Rames, thank you for sponsoring 20 people. Thank you, friends. Thank you. Thank you so much. Much, much appreciated. Ron, for your next Charlotte pie, enjoy. Thank you so. I need to cut on those, Ron. I need my face to shrink a little bit. Thank you. Thank you so much. I have 5 mouths to feed with pies and drinks and all kinds of stuff. So it's all good. Thank you. I got my hotel reservation refund to my credit card today. I'm not sure what you mean. Jodes Rames. Congratulations, Heidi Hi. What are we having a birthday? Aaron Love. No eBay here. Nothing delivers here. Nick, welcome. Crazy Vodka. What a name. Nige G, used tea bags are good for gardening. I never buy tea bags. I buy loose tea and I boil it. Put boiling water over it. I have really awesome kettle for that. It consists of 2 parts and I make brewing. There you go. I brew my own tea. I brew it inside and then I take it out and there's tea left. Nick, there will be a significant tax increase, personal income tax increase, business income tax increase, and possibly added value tax increase. So in case you missed, please go and check it out again. Remy, love keeping up with the news. Enjoy it very much. Thank you so much. I actually, you know what? We were brainwashing not brainstorming, brainwashing. That's so funny. Brainwashing, brainstorming with Ola. Like, what can we do more for patrons and for sponsors? And we both came up with this idea of the news, because the idea was born when I did Friday crazy news updates recently. You see, there are so many news. Every single day, I take a few news and I put them aside for Friday. And then by Friday, I have like 50 news to choose from. And I can't pack them all into one live stream or video because it's too much. So some are left out and some are postponed until the next week, And I try not to postpone too much because I want to keep up with the current news. So I have tons of news, and we figured, hey, why don't we try to make this available for sponsors and patrons? And it's actually worked out quite well. I'm happy about that. And it almost feels like we launched like a small newspaper. Because the news that we give you in Patreon, in sponsorship here on YouTube, is you don't really see them inside of your media. Like if you read newspapers, New York Times, and CNN, Fox News, or whatever your media of choice, you don't see that, but we give you that. We both work finding what's important, what matters in Russia, and that helps to understand Russia better. Asteroid Boy, howdy. Tom W is his birthday today, right? And let me double check. Surprise party ever. Well, you know what happens when we have a birthday boy or a girl? I sing the birthday song, and that's what I'm gonna do in honor of Tom W's celebration right now. Now, I give everyone a fair warning. I'm not really a great singer. Good one, but not great. So you might want to cover up your ears so they don't get hurt by me singing. So there you go. Tom, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tom. Happy birthday to you. Have many happy returns of the day. Have great health. Never get sick. Have quite a few coins in your pocket that give you freedom, and be surrounded by people who you love and who love you. That's the most important in my mind for everyone. So I wish you that. Happy birthday, and thank you for being a part of Inside Russia. I want my next birthday song done in robotic voice. Oh, we haven't done that in a while. Joe's Rames, how about we play with that on Saturday? In case you don't know, in case you are, a couple years ago, Michael, I bought a brand new soundboard, and it has different sound effects, like a robotic voice. And Michael was 5, and he was playing, he put on my monitor headphones, and he was playing with different sound effects, and he left the robotic voice sound effect on. I started the stream, and I was talking for 5 minutes in the robotic voice. So some still remember that. Abrams, howdy. What do you think about the effect of information war on Europe, mainly on Central Europe? Doesn't it scare you how effective it is? It affects people close around me. Let me take a note of this thing, of your question. You're spot on. It does scare me. It scares me how effective they are on Russian people. And it scares me that they are spreading that disease, or they're trying to spread it onto other countries, onto other nations. And I'm very sorry to hear that it's effective where you are too. I take it's Serbia or Slovakia, perhaps. I don't know. I'm very sorry about that, and it does scare me. Keith, all the way from Hawaii, have been waiting for this live serenade. Thank you, friend. Again, Joe's Rames, thank you for sponsoring 20 people, and everyone, let me just check the funding button. Scott Nesbitt has been a member for 19 months. Solar eclipse was great to see today. Don't know much about that. I heard you are having solar eclipse right now in the USA. And I take it that the sun rose up again. Crusader Damien, howdy friend from Canada. It seems Russian infrastructure might help Ukrainian kick the invaders out. Heating pipes, dams, and electrical plants are bursting, with many more to come. Do Russian citizens understand why no dollars to fix? Dude, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how you do it, but every time you have a question or a statement, it makes me think, I'm making a video about the fail of infrastructure. It's going to be my second video. Flooding, and in case you didn't hear, a bridge collapsed. Just out of the blue. Because, well, it was not well maintained. And they stole lots of money when they were constructing the bridge. Heating pipes in the wintertime. Now comes different disasters. Bridges, watch out for bridges. Second bridge collapses in a couple days. Floodings, dams letting go. Orsk Dam was a perfect example. Attorney General Office started criminal investigation. Turned out that the contractor who built the dam didn't do anything right. Okay, just put dirt on top of more dirt, and that's it. But some politicians in Russia claim that beavers are the problem, that beavers destroyed the dam. And anyway, I'll make a video. I'll try to do it tomorrow. If not, the day after tomorrow. It'll be released before the live stream. Perhaps instead live stream. I don't, depends. But you're spot on. It might help Ukraine kick the invaders out, but do the Russian citizens understand why there's no money to fix? No, they don't. Very odd. They live in a very, anabiotic state, in their own bubbles. Remember that movie, The Aliens? The alien, the people in a spaceship are placed into these capsules, and they sleep there while the ship travels for years, okay? And that's how I see many Russians are living now. It's like they are in capsules. I call them informational bubbles. It seems like they don't care what is happening. Not in Russia, not in Ukraine. They don't care how their taxes are being spent. They don't care that their country is being stolen right in front of their noses. They don't care about anything. I don't understand. Crusader Damien, I am appalled by this. I don't understand why they're not asking questions. Simplest questions. Well, that's how I feel. Thank you for the good questions. Thank you. Mike D, again, thank you very much for sponsoring 5 people. I appreciate it very much. Keith, Scott Nesbitt, Harry Potman, sponsor for 26 months. Harry, you've been there since I think day one. Thank you so much, friend. Grace Philosophy had birthday as well. I don't know. I'm gonna figure out. I just sang happy birthday to Tom W. Blackhead. Yes. Let me see what happened to. I'm gonna look for Grace. I'm sorry. Need more tea. Grace Philosophy. Grace all over the place. Please let me know. I'm not seeing her messages in the chat. But Grace has been such a great member of Inside Russia that I might sing happy birthday anyway. Viking Steel, howdy. So mods, please let me know. What about Grace? She had birthday. Reinhard, been sitting all day in front of a computer. I don't know what's happening outside. I'm gonna take my my son Michael, to hockey practice tomorrow. So it's gonna be out for me. Steve Bell, understood. Thank you. I'm still looking for Grace information. Bob S, thank you so much. Check in right now. Mac from Switzerland. Where do ordinary Russians think they will be in 5, 10, 20 years' time, and how will they be doing then? You know, friends, what I want to do? I actually want to start collecting these questions, and I want to do an entire live stream consisting of these questions. Okay, if you don't mind, Mac, I took a picture of this, and I'm gonna save it as a good question. Russians don't plan for as long. You know, they want to survive next week, next month. That's as far as it goes. One of the big problems in Russia, the planning cannot be done because we don't know how to plan. If we're alive by the time this year ends, that's gonna be a fortune. You know what I mean? So I don't think they plan for that much. The ones who plan, they are out of Russia. They have fled. Was it the Canadian Beavers? They're part of the special forces trained by NATO. Hey, you know what? I'm still waiting for them to say that. You know, that's the Ukrainians. They sent the trained by the evil West or something like that. They sent this beavers or insects or worms, and worms put tiny little holes in the dam, and the water started rushing through, things like that. So I haven't heard anything like that, but I'm still waiting. They gotta use their Ukrainian card. You know, there's no question about that. Andreas Benz, do these collapsed bridges connect east and west or north and south? They connect our world and the afterlife, and they are over the river called Styx. That's in Egyptian mythology. That's a person died, they put him into a boat, and then he would flow, or she would flow Styx River to the underworld or afterworld or whatever, you know. That's what collapsed. No. Seriously, I don't know yet. I don't know because I haven't looked in details. It happened today. Ooh. Life. Well, you tell it to the Russian officials, okay? They're claiming that some critters, you know, made holes inside the dam, and just a small hole is needed for the water to start rushing through. And then the guy was live on Russian TV, and the reporter, you know, the host asked him, "What do you think? Are you suggesting that we spent 1 billion rubles to build a dam that critters destroyed easily?" And the guy was, you know, put on the spot, and he was like, "Oh, yeah." She's like, wait, you just said it." It was such a funny moment. I have a recording of that, and I'm gonna put that to a video. It was so funny. Kevin, not there yet, but you know, that's like they are stripped of curiosity, they're stripped of initiative, things like that. They're like in a very strange state of day-to-day life, and that's it. Just Jimmy, I watched the report that another dam in Russia collapsed last night. Yes, nearby, the second dam was let go, and I'm making a video about that. This stuff is bad, I'm telling you. But I don't... I used to feel sad and bad about it, but I don't anymore. I don't know, I've become comfortably numb. I feel bad about it, but that's I'm telling you the truth. I don't like, it makes me feel laugh, especially when they say in all their seriousness about critters destroying the dam. Those critters live in the south of France right now, using the money that they stole when they were constructing that dam. Yeah. Eric, thank you so much for gifting 5 people with a sponsorship. Thank you. All right, folks, time is up. Let me just run through fan funding. Again, Eric, thank you. Mac, Crusader Damien, Mike D, thank you. Keith, Scott Nesbitt, thank you very much for being such a pillar of Inside Russia. Harry, thank you. 26 months. Black Cat, Heidi Hi, thank you. The Underdog, KG1. There you go. I missed KG1 super chat. Chechnya bans music that is too fast or too slow. What's that about? You know, honestly, I think it's a joke. Someone is pulling someone's leg. That's real. That's gonna make my Friday news update. And well, that's just that. they ban music that is too fast or too slow. That's Chechnya for you. They are crazy news indeed, you know. Mac, don't the Russians want anything in return for their taxes? What about the government's promise of protection and security? 2 things. First, they don't trust the government, and they understand if the government promises something, it does not deliver. It's just for the sake of it, of promising. And the second, they have nothing to compare with. The most 80% of Russians have not been out of Russia. Imagine people who still live in that same apartment block that I grew up, and they still, it's their life. They still have firefighters coming. Well, probably firefighting is better now. They come with water because Russia is so rich. I mean, it would be just a joke if firefighters still came without water. They're well funded now, okay? But these people, they don't know any better, okay? They're probably happy that the firefighters now come with water. Carson Larimore, here in the US, we have many volunteers, firemen, and smaller communities. Do they have this in Russia? No, they do not. I have not heard of any volunteers in small communities. It's just official, funded by the government. Sam K, thank you. Kevin Baker, Dave Strains, best YouTube channel information inside Russia. Thank you for good words, Dave. Thank you, Mike D. Thank you again. Mr. Kaliskin, sending best wishes from Chicago. Howdy, friend. Blackhead, thank you for the sponsorship. I missed opiated. You like ice hockey? It's one of my favorite sports. Not only I like ice hockey, I used to play ice hockey. My son is playing ice hockey now. Well, he's just getting started. And you know, I teach him how to play, how to skate, and we skate together. Live G, thank you very much. Ron again. Black Cat, Florian. Black Cat, thank you so much again. Good to see you. And let me sing the birthday song to Grace. I'm not sure she's in the chat or... Elsha's buffering bad. I have two computers. One that is actually used for streaming, and another one is just like monitor. My monitor is buffering a lot. I don't know why. So, thank you. Again, Suzanne, howdy. Edward M, thank you. Real quick, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grace. Happy birthday to you. Wishing you many happy returns of the day. Please stay the way you are. I've talked to Grace once, and she's a fantastic person. She's a great lady, and you know, you have wonderful family, grandkids, and you know, happy birthday. Please have good reasons to smile. Many smiles to you. Good health. Please recover from all illnesses. So thank you for coming and being such a great part of Inside Russia. And folks, I would like to invite everyone to finish this live stream with by praying with me. Thank you so much. Let's do it. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables and giving roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads peaceful and safe, and give us wisdom to raise them the way that they will never fight in any wars. They will love each other and make this world a better place when they grow up. For now, please keep our children safe and healthy, as they are our world and our life. Dear Lord, please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. The country and people have suffered so much. Everybody needs peace. Please bring peace soon to Ukraine. Please help all the Ukrainians who have suffered. Have your angels come down and help them heal, answer their prayers, and make their wishes come true. Please reach out and touch the hearts and souls of people responsible for making decisions of this horrible disaster. Please have them wake up from their lethargic sleep and make the decision to stop the bloodshed, so the peace will finally come to Ukraine. Please help my country. Send your strongest angels armed with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael, to this earth to get rid of the demons who have hijacked my country and ruining it, who we know by faces and by their names. Please send your angels to get rid of them. Help. Please send angels so they help good Russians to run Russia and make it peaceful, loving, and respecting. Please help everyone who is traveling. Send safe travels. Everyone who is in trouble needs help. Please send them help. Help those who are seeking for asylum of any kind. Help single mothers raising their children, struggling to make ends meet. Help those who are helping Ukrainians. Help Ukrainians who are currently under attacks or threat of attacks from Russia by Russian missiles and Russian weapons. Send your angels to keep everyone safe, please. Please help the sick, the depressed, the hungry, the addicted, the homeless, the jobless, the betrayed, the ones who are losing their faith, the ones who are not feeling well about themselves, the ones who are feeling lonely, the ones who are feeling desperate. Please help everyone in need. Fill their hearts with love so they feel you right next to them. They feel you helping them. They feel they're never alone. They feel that you're watching over them and loving them and with them all the time. That makes everyone's life so much happier. Please reveal yourself in the lives of those people who are not feeling well somehow. Please help them. Thank you so much for allowing us to come together and pray. Thank you for everyone who is praying along right now or simply watching us pray. Thank you. Please make everyone's prayer heard and make everyone's wish come true. Thank you so very much, dear Lord. I would like to ask for a few people who need your help. They are Richard, Mommy Kay, Mommy Kay's mother, Natasha, Yelena, Michael, Jake, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Svetlana, Alex from Albuquerque, Grace, Randolph, Mr. Dean Spooner and his church, EMS paramedic Liz, Susie Mailer, Julia Haney, Liz Dumbrell, Darla, White Lightning, George Ruberty, Dave and Dawn, Terry Carter, Dory, Electron's family, Kurt from Colorado, Deborah, Boggy Berger and his sons, Rhonda, Kyle E's wife, Ann Larson, Morgan L. Please send more recovery. Dory, scan family members who need help. Jason Carney, Marie Doran, Warren Spees, Jay Spike, Frank, James, Dennis, Jim. Please have Karena's mom Dorothy rest in peace. Help Paula W. with blood cloth. Frank in Texas with recovery. Larry B. Dominic, Tim Mayes, Natalia Blaga. Terry Carter, please help in hard times. Tom W., please help with hip replacement recovery. Lisa Kumrian, please speed up her recovery. Please help everyone who is not feeling well. Send recovery. Please help all the children from Ukraine have been misplaced and affected by the terrible tragedy. Send your angels to help everyone and unite them with their families. Thank you so very much, our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Friends, thank you for coming. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for the super chats and support that you've sent. Thank you so much for regular chats, for comments, for your wishes. Money is always appreciated, but the words are priceless, really. Thank you for everything, and you're absolutely awesome. You rock. Don't forget that. And before I sign off, I'd like to tell you that tomorrow will be 9 more news, and another. I'll try to make it as good as I can. Another live stream with another message. And before I sign off, as usual, please say out loud with me, as loud as you can, the following: Carthago delende est.